Welcome to Araka Media, defending freedom and human rights. I'm Z, here to host another editorial with Mr. Thein Tun Zan. Would you like to introduce yourself once more?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. This is Thein Tun Zan with Araka Media.
Thank you. Now, I would like to ask a few questions tonight, mostly regarding the Arakan Army and the Muslim community in Arakan at the moment. So, yes. Then I will start off with a more generalized question, which would be, what's the status on the relationship between the Arakan Army or the AA and the Muslim community as of now?
Well, generally we can say the relationship between the Arakan Army and the Muslim communities in Arakan on the ground is very promising, and it's building to a positive way as much as we learn so far. Yes.
I see. So what would you describe specifically going on in their ground level right now?
Yeah, on the ground, villages, as we all know, the Arakan has a significant amount of Muslim communities living side by side with the Arakan people and Buddhist Arakan people, and also like we have other communities called the can you hear me now?
Yes.
Is the line clear? Okay, yeah. We have other communities. We usually call these 7 ethnics of Arakan people. They're living side by side, all together in the communities, but mostly a majority also Buddhist Arakan people, and the Muslim communities very close to, each other, and they are having very peaceful and going much having understanding since these Arakan Army controlling parts and parts of Arakan state these days, and it's we have noticed and even witnessed that the Arakan the Muslim communities were welcoming the Arakan Army and also trusting more and more that they will even request the Arakan Army to come into their villages and handle stuff that are going on with them, so that some issues being resolved lately. And so far, both sides going well, and it's promising to see that they're working together. Yes. And also, Arakan Army had the police and administrative forces, administrative organizations that will do or they handle the Muslim community, so that the people from their own communities will be doing their own administrations and policing work in their own villages. So that's how we see now. Yes.
I see. It seems that they are living in peace, but I would also like to point to an incident with the AA and the cattle thieves in Letma village, which was described. Would you mind explaining the gist of that a little bit?
Oh, yeah. It was in the July this year, about the end of July, I think, in 2021. There was an incident that some international news outlets in the organization picked up, and also they have news about it. So what was that is in Lamat village in Mumbra Township in Arakan. There were incidents that the Arakan Army had to go in the village and did some security works due to, they said, the gangs involving the cattle thieves gangs, and also the thieves that are not just the cattle, and also the farm equipment, and also almost like they're doing, going out from that Lama village to surrounding villages, also the Muslim villages and also Arkan villages, and in the counties in the surrounding areas that they steal cattle and sometimes rob cattle and also do the hijacking of cattle and stuff like that. It went on for quite a while that in the end, the village leader, the Muslim village leader, requested the Arkan army to come to their village and do the security work. So that went on that time, and then there were news outlets, and including the Burma Campaign UK, that reported the Arkan army occupying the place, like seizing people, arresting people, stuff like that. So that seems like misinformed that time, and then Arkan army had some statement issue. I mean, not the Arkan army, the Muslim, the village leaders, in the end, issued the statements that saying and clarifying that they were the one who invited Arkan army to do those security work for them, and then to secure the village and then clean up all these criminals that stealing cattle and also harming the Muslim villagers that there. So that was the case there. But now it's all clear, and then they were in peaceful time that having there, and then going on with the daily lives. Yeah.
So you mentioned the Burma Campaign UK, and I'm assuming there would also be other international organizations, but what do you think about the Burma Campaign UK and the other international organizations spreading a somewhat underhanded message through their misinformation?
That usually they have a tendency to sometimes like overprotecting, and also some bias on working in that part of the issues that anytime those things happen, they will sometimes really too quick to jump in and conclude it like on the wrong decisions, or wrong information. Usually they receive the misinformed issues, or misinformed the informations that are misleading informations that led to those conclusions. And then but in the end, the village leader itself, the Muslim community itself, like cleared out.
Mm-hmm. I see. And speaking of the Muslim leaders, especially of the village, I saw that there was an interview that you actually hosted, Mr. Thein Tun Zan, with the village people and their leaders. Would you mind telling us more about that?
Yeah. So finally, the Araka media reached out to those village leaders, not just from that Lama village, also from the surrounding villages, including this very, the religious leader too, that they came to Araka media, and then we interviewed 6 of the village leaders from that Muslim villages, including Lama village. So they went and told us, like, in very much in detail that, and then with their own will, of course, will willingly tell and stated that they needed the protection from Arkan army in that time. That's why they invited the Arkan army, to arrest some of the criminals in their village who were not just taking away, stealing cattle, but they turned into those gangs that hijacking cattle and harming people. So one of the village leader we interviewed had an encounter with those gang members in their own village, the Muslim gang member there, that he had like, literally has a, the scar from that slash injury. Then he almost had, he could have died from the injury. He had these cross scar on the face that got with the encounter with one of those the gang members. But now the gang member, I think they either left the town or village, or it has been cleared out, and then the village people now are staying in a pretty much peaceful way, and we don't hear any more of a trouble these days. Yes, but we keep reaching out to them, and we're monitoring the situations. Yeah.
I see. So the findings of the interview, the conclusion, would you mind explaining a little bit?
Yeah, the conclusion was that the village people, majority of the village people, and then all these village leaders, the Muslim village leaders, they are willing to have the Afghan army protecting them, and then taking issue, and also even the going on with the justice system that the Afghan army is setting up in villages wherever their control area. So they are willing to have those, and they're willing to work with the Afghan army, and they seems like they're trusting the Afghan army that will bring justice and peace to all the communities in Afghan state. That's what we saw by interviewing them in person.
I see. Before we wrap up, is there any more comments or inquiries that you would have regarding the news situation and the other organizations that seem to be misinformed in some way?
Yeah, if those type of situation happen or occur again, the mostly the outside, the organizations who are based in, say, outside of Burma, such as Burma Campaign and the stuff like Human Rights Watch and stuff, those organizations should, have the don't jump into the conclusion like too quick and putting, predetermined bias and stuff. They should look into the ground situations and have true interview, in-person interview like we did, the Arca Media did, and before putting out or, pulling the conclusions out of it and then start spreading the misinformed or the news and stuff. That could create, more of a problem than solving the real situation. Why, the Afghan army and the Muslim communities are trying to, coexist side by side and having these peaceful and justice, communities there.
Right. That was a very good point that you made. Thank you for joining this editorial and stating some of the facts and opinions about the Arakan Army and the Muslim community, and talking about the specific situation regarding the cattle.
Sure. Thank you for having me too.
Yes, of course. This is Arca Media with Poewah Z and Thein Tun Zan. Thank you very much.
Thanks.